Hello everyone. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do my braid outs, and whenever I do a braid out I don't retwist my hair. Of course you can do this on retwisted hair, but I start off with freshly washed hair and I condition it with olive oil hair lotion. So that's what the white stuff in my hair is. It's the hair lotion. It hasn't really been melted in there good yet, but that's what that is. And what I do is I just braid it back like a regular cornrow on a regular loose natural hair. However, this is tricky because my hair is not completely loose natural. I also have locks. So what I do is I take the first 3 locks and I meticulously and carefully just braid back all the way back to the back of my head, and I'm just carefully placing each lock where they're supposed to go, and I'm also carefully going around each lock. When I pick it up with my finger and carefully incorporate it into the cornrow because I don't want to pick up any stray hairs or stick my finger through a lock and then try to do like that. Would hurt and it wouldn't even work. So you have to be very, very careful here. So that's what I'm doing just as I go, and I don't bring the lock to the braid, I bring the braid to the lock. That way it's way less tension on the scalp and it's not too tight and it feels comfortable when I'm done, and I'm able to leave these braids in as long as I want to. It's important to note that I'm not putting that much tension on my hair as I braid. I'm not like really pulling or just putting so much tension on it to make sure it's defined. It's going to be defined regardless, just because the locks are straight, and then the braids sitting in there will make them crinkle. But I'm not putting a whole bunch of tension on there simply because that's not healthy for the locks and it's not even necessary. So I'm just braiding as I would braid normally. There's nothing extra special that I'm doing, and I just secure the ends with rubber bands, and I'm on to the next section. I put my hair into 6 sections, but of course if you want to try this and your head is bigger than mine, or you have more locks than mine, and you have a different head shape, of course you can do however many braids fit your locks and your head, etc., etc. So I'm just moving on to the next one. I'm doing the exact same thing I did on the other side, and once again I like to work on both sides of my head at the same time, meaning I'll leave one side and go to the next side. That way I remember what I just did on the other side. That way it's the same or somewhat the same on both sides, and just work my way to the middle. That way if the middle's funky, it's funky, but at least my sides are about kind of the same. I decided to just do this braid out with my new growth out because with the new growth out, it makes styling way more versatile, and I also wanted to experience the braid out on my loose new growth just to see what it would look like and how more defined it would make the braid out look from root to tip. So we'll see in the results if I did achieve that, but that's kind of why I wanted to do it. So the top is kind of tricky, always is tricky, but I could have done 3 braids here, but because of how much space I have in the back of my head, I had to go ahead and do 2 braids just to be on the safe side. But of course, if you want to try this and you are able to get 3 braids in there, by all means go ahead. But I'm only gonna do 2 because it made sense for the space that I have back there to only do 2. Alright, and that is it for the braids. Once again, I just secure the ends with rubber bands and keep it moving. This is what they look like when I'm finished. My hair is still kind of damp, but not dripping wet, and it's also not damp to where I'd have mildew. So I'm just gonna wrap my edges up and go to sleep, wake up the next day, and just go about life, because I'm not that person who has to be all did up to go somewhere. Like these cornrows, I rocked them for I think a good 3-4 days. Yeah, about a good 3 days. And then I took them out. They were nice and dry and clean and fresh, and the braid out was pretty nice when it came out. Everything was pretty defined, even the loose natural hair. And voila, here's the finished product. I must say I was pleased with the results. I liked how my new growth was much tighter than my locks. I thought that was pretty cool. And here's the finished look. I swooped up the side with castor oil, and I also added castor oil to the rest of my edges just so they wouldn't be looking all dry. But that's all I did there, and my face is all did up because this style was actually for Mother's Day. I wanted to look cute for my boys. But that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all who subscribe and come back to my channel. Thank you for your sweet comments that you leave. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's Dxlyn, and my hair page is Hair by Dxlyn, and I'm on Snapchat too. Bye, guys.